Hey, good Sunday morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Y'all know who it is. This is your unshaven boy, Rob Thomas Jr. And this is briefly Sunday morning real news behind the news. Oh yeah, man, today is Sunday, July 24th, 2022, and I'm gonna be very brief in this little video, but I want to address Minister Sean Evans, my partner. Now keep in mind, Sean Evans is a good man, and I'm not here to degrade him or belittle him, but I am here to hold him accountable for something you just posted on Facebook, Minister Evans. When you said, y'all better be careful about how you talk about God's anointed ones, because you'll find yourself cursing yourself. Minister Evans, let me ask you a question. Minister Evans, have you ever read the book of Matthew, chapter 23? Would you tell Jesus he was wrong when he went off on these religious leaders who are hypocrites in most cases? Let me read this briefly before this phone here go down. I'm going to read Matthew chapter 23. And Minister Sean Evans, you tell me if Jesus brought a curse on himself. Are we not supposed to hold liars and deceivers accountable for their lies and deceptions? So we just supposed to sit back and let some Negro tell us that God told me to tell you this. And if you don't believe what God told me to tell you, you're going to hell. Nah. Guess what? There's going to be a lot of us in hell then. Matthew chapter 23. Then Jesus spoke to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and Pharisees sit in the seat of Moses. All therefore, whatever they bid you observe, they observe and do. But do not be like them, because they are hypocrites. They do not what they say. This is Jesus telling you to question these people in a sense, whereas he was saying that they know the law. If they tell you something about the law, they know the law because that's what they've been studying, but them niggas don't do none of the law themselves. For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne and lay them on men's shoulder, but they themselves will not move them with their fingers. But all their works they do to be seen, or by men, to make broad their phylacteries and enlarge the borders of their garment. And they love the uppermost rooms of feasts and chief seats in the synagogue, meaning that when them niggas come in, all they want to do is be seen. They don't really care about it. First and foremost, how can a preacher tell me that God every Sunday needs some money? Come on. That means the God of a lot of these preachers are either drug addict, he buying coochie, or he gambling, because every Sunday he broke and he needs 10% of your money every Sunday. So we're not supposed to ask questions about that. So it also goes on to say, but do not be called rabbi, for one is your master, even Christ. All you are brethren. And call no man your father upon this earth, for one is your Father which is in heaven. Neither be you called masters, for no one is your master but Christ. So everything that you said in that post, Minister Evans, is bullcrap. You are supposed to question these men, especially when they're telling you lies and fairy tales, especially when they won't come out to church to help us with some of this killing, to do anything. Yeah, they'll have a prayer rally at their church. I can see the news headlines now. Church on 70th Street have massive prayer rally to stop the violence. Meanwhile, across the street, 2 niggas got shot. That's how it really goes. All right? And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he who shall humble himself shall be exalted. But woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, you hypocrites, for you shut up the kingdom of heaven against men. You neither go in yourself, nor suffer them to go in. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, you hypocrite, for you devour widows' houses for a penance to make longer prayer. Therefore you shall receive greater damnation. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites. You can pass the sea and land. You travel the sea and land to make one convert. And when he make him, he's more of a child of hell than you yourself. Woe to you, scribes, you blind guys, which say, whoever shall swear by the temple, it is nothing. But whosoever shall swear by the gold of the temple, he is a doubter, a debtor. Meaning that them niggas love money, plain and simple. And whoever shall swear by the altar is nothing. But whoever shall swear by the gift upon the altar is guilty. Don't that sound like your preachers? Telling you God needs a chandelier in his house when your house barely can afford the lights to be on. You fools, you blind, and blind. For whether is greater, the gift or the altar that's sanctified? Whoso therefore shall soever swear by the altar, swear by it, and all things thereon. And whoso, y'all get the gist of it. Basically what Jesus said, Minister Evans, what Jesus said, you would call him a heretic, because he went off on them preachers. Guess who killed Jesus? The preachers. You know why? Because he was fucking with their money. He was messing with their money. And he told the people, God is a spirit. Those who worship him must worship him in spirit and truth. Meaning you don't need these niggas to tell you how to get to heaven. Because guess what? You're going to be dead anyway. How you going to know you in heaven if you're dead? Didn't David say in the Old Testament, in the grave there is no memory of you? Why is it that these preachers get to have their heaven on earth and we got to die and hope we see heaven when we dead? How you going to know if you're in heaven or hell and you're dead? Minister Evans. So you should be careful when you make those type of statements, because you know somebody like me is going to come back and hold you accountable for that. How am I supposed to see a preacher that I know is molesting little boys and I'm not supposed to say nothing about it? If I see a preacher who's taking these hard-earned tithes from these elderly women, from these widows, and they buying Mercedes-Benz and BMW. Pastor got a Mercedes, his wife got a Benz, his daughter got a BMW, and a nigga like me got to catch the church van. I got to get up at 7:30 in the morning and wait for the van to get me to church by 11. But our pastor and his whole family driving up in luxury cars, and I'm not supposed to question that shit. So you make yourself out to, put it like this, if you put that shit out there on Facebook, you got to be ready to give an answer for that shit. And everything that you said goes along with what Jesus said in the 23rd chapter of Matthew. Minister Evans, be careful, because I'm watching.